And let's get right to breaking news. And after 2 days of last-minute negotiations, no deal. That is according to the city of Portland, which says it has failed to reach an agreement with the union representing about 600 city workers. And that means those workers are set to strike as soon as first thing in the morning. Now, we've reached out to Laborers Local 483 tonight. We have not heard back. Meanwhile, the city says it is moving forward with contingency plans and will share details on potential impacts tomorrow. A state of emergency allows the mayor to hire or reallocate staff to keep things up and running. These employees work across many departments, handling everything from sewers and wastewater to transportation to some parks and rec. Updates as we get them starting at 4:30 on Sunrise and, of course, anytime at KGW.com. Well, tonight, a story about justice nearly half a century in the making as a jury found Warren Forrest, the man described as a suspected serial killer, guilty of murder as he serves a sentence for another. Let's bring in Alma McCarty, who was in the courtroom this afternoon. And Alma, the family of 17-year-old Martha Morrison has been waiting for this since 1974.
David, closing arguments were this afternoon, and a jury deliberated for more than an hour afterwards. Then, just before 5 p.m., they asked the judge for just 5 more minutes. You could feel the tension in those moments as those inside of the courtroom, including Martha Morrison's brother, awaited the jury's decision. After a week-and-a-half-long trial in Clark County, finally a verdict.
The jury find the above-named defendant guilty of the crime of murder in the first degree.
The decision unanimous. The relief and emotion immediate.
Very, very happy. We never have to hear from him again. I'm so glad, and the system worked.
The jury found suspected serial killer Warren Forrest guilty of murdering 17-year-old Martha Morrison in 1974. Her brother Michael says this day brings some closure after years and years of waiting for answers.
I'm amazed at how many people it took to get to here. I mean, until they went to the trial and heard all the testimony, there's just an amazing amount of people that, that brought this to fruition, that made it work.
Morrison's remains were found not long after her disappearance in 1974, but it took decades to link her death to Forrest. Investigators found her DNA on a dart gun Forrest admitted to using to attack another woman.
Almost 50 years later, because of the advancement of science, her blood, her DNA, was found on the defendant's torture weapon. There is no other explanation for that, except that the defendant is her killer.
Forrest has been in prison since the late 1970s, serving a life sentence for his conviction in the 1974 murder of 20-year-old Krista K. Blake. Investigators suspect Forrest to be responsible for abducting and killing several other women and girls in and around Southwest Washington. Detectives believe Forrest's first victim was Jamie Grissom, who disappeared in 1971. Star Laura is her sister.
Martha got justice, and that's as close as all the rest of us can get. But that's enough, because he will never come out of there alive. No.
Grateful for justice in his sister's murder, Morrison would like to see Forrest confess to the other murders he's accused of.
Yeah, I just wish he'd do the right thing and give everybody a break, but that's not my impression of the man.
Forrest will be back in court later this month for sentencing. He's already spent more than 40 years behind bars. David?
A really tough day for so many families. Alma McCarty reporting. Thank you, Alma. Well, he owns a business that encourages its workers to wear a bit less. And now the owner of this so-called Bikini barista type coffee shop in Hillsborough is behind bars. 61-year-old Jeffrey Hebner is accused of sexual abuse against both job applicants and workers, and that abuse allegedly goes back for years. This case includes multiple victims from 2015 until just last November. Police arrested Hebner Tuesday after he was indicted. Investigators say the long list of charges are for crimes against at least 7 women, ranging from public indecency to rape. And they all center around Hebner's business called Dream Girls, a coffee drive up along Tualatin Valley Highway.
They all follow this pattern of him under the guise of interviewing people to work at his business, then plying them with alcohol, convincing them that they should have sexual relations with him, but then more often the assaults and without consent.
Hebner will remain in jail pending a release hearing next week. Tonight, we are learning new details about the suspect who led law enforcement on a week-long manhunt across parts of southern Oregon. Benjamin Foster, who died after police say he shot himself Tuesday, was already accused of a brutal attack on a woman in Grants Pass. And today, authorities said there is even more to that trail of fear and destruction: murder.
Benjamin Foster, this is the Grants Pass Police Department. There's a warrant for your arrest. Come out unarmed.
Police appear to negotiate late Tuesday with a man they call extremely dangerous, 36-year-old Benjamin Foster. The kidnapping suspect, who burrowed under this Grants Pass home hours earlier, authorities say, surrounded by armored vehicles and the SWAT team, with officers even on rooftops. Foster, they say, refused to communicate.
Put your hands in the air, comply with orders, and no harm will come to you.
Foster took his own life with what appears to be a single gunshot wound to the head.
And on Wednesday, another bombshell, as authorities revealed they believe Foster killed two men inside their home, not far from where the suspect first evaded police last week.
He brutally murdered two innocents in Sunny Valley, and we didn't know when he was going to stop.
So here's the timeline. Police in Grants Pass say the manhunt sparked a week ago Tuesday after Foster allegedly attacked and tortured a woman in her own home. 2 days later, a breakthrough when Foster was spotted some 20 miles north in Wolf Creek on a property connected to his family. Police say he escaped and had help getting away. Then on Monday, that grisly discovery in the same area as authorities went door to door checking on neighbors and saw the bodies of two men through a window. The search coming to an end Tuesday back in Grants Pass, where police say Foster took a taxi, then barricaded himself in a crawl space underneath his original victim's home, eventually turning a gun on himself. A woman who allegedly helped Foster escape last Thursday now facing charges, while authorities say they are confident after a week on edge, the danger, at least from this man, is finally over.
And tonight, the chief adding it appears Foster's crimes did not stop with murder, saying he also stole from the men he killed, even taking their dog, which surveillance footage recorded him walking on Tuesday morning. Meanwhile, police revealing the survivor, who they say Foster tied up and assaulted last week, had previously been, in their words, in some sort of domestic relationship with the suspect. She is recovering in the hospital in stable but still critical condition. Let's get you caught up on tonight's other headlines now. Portland police have identified the two armed suspects they say robbed a 7-Eleven Wednesday morning at Southeast 92nd and Division, leading to an hours-long standoff in the neighborhood. 29-year-old Leon D. Vaughn Jr. and 25-year-old Chelsea C. Gray were taken into custody a little after noon by the Bureau's tactical teams, and that came just hours after the same officers responded to a standoff and violent crime spree in Northeast, one we reported on last night at 11. That suspect was also arrested. A former Oregon City veterinarian has been arrested for the murder of a man he is accused of stalking. 55-year-old Stephen Milner made his first court appearance today. He is charged with the death of Kenneth Fandrich. Fandrich's body was found inside a vehicle on Intel's Ronler Acres campus, where he was working as a contractor. According to court documents, Fandrich filed a lawsuit against Milner, accusing him of stalking and threatening to kill him. Fandrich said Milner had an affair with his wife, and the harassment began after the affair ended. And did you see these big plumes of black smoke just before sunset? They billowed up after at least two fires started near a homeless camp on the side of I-5. This was just north of the Rose Quarter. Our photographer was near the first fire when another one broke out about 150 feet away. The flames appeared to be burning right next to a tent. No official word on a cause or if anybody was injured.